Welcome to Ideas All Day, a podcast where we, not experts, discuss our ideas and place them into piles, such as the good ideas pile, the bad ideas pile, and the ideas pile. On today's episode, the gang discusses their ideas for bars, where everybody knows your name. Kate.
That would probably be Johnny Utah's. But if we're going by name that theme song, it would be Cheers, aka Bull and Finch in Boston.
Accurate. A singer in a smoky room, the smell of wine and cheap perfume. Alex.
And for just a smile, we could share the night because it goes on and on
And on?
and on. Yes, it does.
Strangers.
Strangers who love Boston like this podcast does.
Very good. He drinks a whiskey drink. He drinks a vodka drink. He drinks a lager drink. He drinks a cider drink. Ajax. Oh, hey, that was... I get knocked down, but I get up again. You're
Tub
never going to keep
thumping.
me down.
Tub Thumping by Chumbawamba. And that sounds like
Kissing
an
the
awful night.
away.
It sounds like an awful, awful night. Mixing
At least you're
all
ending
those
on
drinks.
a cider.
Yeah. I don't know. I really just
no.
think it's really who you're there with
Oh, no.
than it is about what you're drinking.
No, like, especially ending on a cider drink. That's just going to make your stomach sour. Ugh. No. Stick
It could be a new cocktail.
Stick to the rivers and streams that you're used to. Don't be chasing waterfalls.
A little bit of whiskey, a little vodka, a dash of lager.
Listen, liquor you can mix
Cider.
pretty well. Once you start mixing beer and then ciders, that's when it's not a good scene. Jim Brewer, the comedian, has an excellent stand-up special in which he talks about mixing alcoholic beverages. And if you ever have the chance to Google it or YouTube it, it is wonderful and also very accurate. So yes, don't mix stuff. It's not good. It's gonna end bad.
I advocate for mixing. Because you know what? If you're going to do it, go all out. Don't let anybody tell you how to live your life. And if it's a mistake, that's a mistake you learn with through life, basically.
It's a rough
A
mistake
life
to learn.
mistake.
Yeah.
You know what? And it's a mistake you may only make once, or maybe you won't have that experience and you're going to do it again next time and then keep doing. Because if you're lucky enough, you don't have to worry about that kind of thing, then you just do you.
One time me and Ajax were at Johnny Utah's and I was drinking a lot because I was not designated driver. And then they gave out free tequila shots. My night did not end very well as a result of those free tequila shots. But yeah, no, don't mix drinks. Alex, why don't you give us your ideas for today's topic of bars?
Sure, Kate. I'd be happy to do my ideas first. For my first idea, dear, it's a real doozer, and that's the one-man bar. Now, I'm sure we've all heard of the concept of the one-man band, where you have a guy with a suit on, where he plays all the instruments with various parts of his body. His foot will hit the bass while his arm constricts the accordion while he's playing the violin and various other instruments at the same time. Well, we're going to take this same concept and apply it to a bar where you have a one-man portable bar, where he's got a vest and various clothing items where he stores his shakers. He's got his, zesters. He's got his alcohol in almost like holsters, like a pistol holsters, but all around. And even on his chest, he's got a collapsible cutting board so he can cut up his little stash of limes and lemons that he's got in his thing to make some of the normal classic style drinks like your Moscow Mules. You've
Old
got
fashioned.
Old fashioned would require an orange, but yes, if he's got that, sure. But your classic ones, maybe a martini, whether shaken or stirred, because he's got both influence ready to go. But this way, he can be a one-man bar on the go, ready to attend any party and be truly the center of it. there's no actual bar. You basically just got to be ready to have your cup ready, or if he's got plastic cups ready to go, there you are. But that's idea number one. For idea number two, one thing when I always think or see the bartenders or the mixologists that are really good, really doing their things, it always feels like when they got their back turned to the back of the bar, mixing the drink, they always look like, part of me always thinks of them as a little bit like a mad scientist. So why don't we lean into that and make a mad scientist themed bar where you've got a setup where you've got like dry ice things. You've got the actual drinks that do require dry ice, so they bubble up or have the smoke on top. And your bartenders wear lab coats, and various bits of like machinery. I'm gonna quotation marks machinery and electronics hanging up on the walls, so that it truly feels like they're concocting something unusual. Now, this is not for your faint of heart. This is not for someone that is looking for your classic drinks. This is something you want to be a little bit more experimental. That's my second idea, mad scientist. Number three, this kind of came to me when I was at work, because I deal with my line of work. I deal with pneumatic tubes, and it's not really a thing that you see much nowadays. Drive like the tubes that you send through at the bank and stuff like that. It goes through, you send your stuff in, you get your stuff out, and you never have to step foot inside like nobody wants to nowadays. But there was a time when those pneumatic tubes or those tubes were a little bit more commonplace, and that was back, the 1910s and that style of thing. So what I'm thinking is you get almost that 1910s style aesthetic, almost Chrysler building, lots of stainless steel, lots of chrome, or not chrome, but brass, high end. But one little thing I want to say on there is I want every spot where there's either a table or a spot where you have to send the drink, you've got to send it through a tube. You could even have it where you've got to speak into a speaking tube to talk to the bartender, where you don't even see him. He just takes care of it and sends it to you right to where you're sitting. So that's number three. Number four, we're going to go completely opposite. We're going to go with a garden bar. When I say a garden bar, I'm not just saying stick in a bar in your garden where there's a bunch of plants. I'm talking about, I want it literally like almost grown into the bar, grown into your garden. I want it where you've got almost the bar itself may have been made out, like the top was made out of like a full length of a tree that was varnished. Actual tree trunks may have made the legs. Chairs have actual like vines growing up them. So you really can't move them too much, but I want it to have that most natural aesthetic where it's almost really growing. But and it's obviously would be outside, so you can't use it all the time, but it just has that natural look to it. It's got that very much back to nature style. Even the cups might be either made of real wood, or it's something that, naturally has a cup shape to it that just is grown, but doesn't impart too much of a flavor. Like not like a pineapple or coconut and stuff like that where they don't, but just something along those lines. I really think that would be pretty darn cool. Number five, we're going to go real classic. And I'm going to say, we're going to bring it back to Nordic times. We're going Viking Hall. We're going to do Viking drinking halls, because we've all kind of seen and heard of German style beer halls. I mean, I've been to them. You get your long tables and you sit with people you don't know, but Viking halls are even the same thing. Well, it could be one long table that everyone sits around, and they may not have as much variety. You may just get your mead, you may just get your beer, but there's a heck of a lot more singing, a heck of a lot more fighting, and just, a lot more, shields and axes being thrown around. And who doesn't love that? So Viking beer hall style. And last, but absolutely not least, kind of tapping in a little bit of nostalgia, is having an arcade bar. Now, when your first thing's going to think of is, doesn't that exist already? Isn't that called Dave and Buster's? Wrong. That is not an arcade bar. That is a Chuck E. Cheese for an adult. And that is basically, they are a restaurant that has arcade games, and they just happen to serve alcohol. Now, I want a bar an actual, like, you go and you order a drink, but then you might turn around, there's arcade machines behind it. You know, it might be decorated with some of the nostalgic old stuff that you grew up with. It might have those older games that you really remember, like your Galagas, your Pac-Mans, your Miss Pac-Mans, you know, the things that we all may have grown up with in those classic arcades. But I want it's specifically a bar. You can get your mixed drinks, you get your well drinks, you get your alcohol, but it's still essentially a bar. It just happens to be focused around arcade and arcade cabinets. You might even have to still use quarters, because let's make it realistic. And those are my ideas.
Thanks, Alex. Ajax, why don't you pile Alex's ideas first?
I would love to. So, Alex, for your one-man bar with the pistol alcohol holsters and the chest cutting board, and I personally like the chest cutting board because then you can just cut your garnish on site and you don't have to have, like, I think that's an added level of fancy.
You got
especially because you're usually just grabbing them out of a container that somebody else pre-cut them.
Yeah.
But like when you're cutting your garnish on site, that just adds that little sense of Frenchy, like je ne sais quoi type of
And
thing.
it's not even just that too, but it's about also juicing your lime or lemon as well, right on the spot. So that can make a real big difference. It's not just about garnish, which it is still a big thing, but even just getting that fresh squeezed juice can make all the difference. And you need to have that cutting board to cut it there. So
He needs to mull
yes. Well, the molar is a different thing. But
a
still.
lot. So yeah, I like this idea. I'm putting him in a good idea pile.
Woo.
I just hope he has gun-shaped alcohol squirters though, like psh, psh. I don't know why, because you had them in the holsters. It should just have like
Yeah.
a really nice shooter.
I at least like to think the bottles themselves have the little finger holes so you can spin them.
Good. I don't know how that's going to work.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it works or not.
I
All
still
that
like
matters
the
is that
idea of
exists. All that matters is that it exists.
Yes. So for your second idea of the mad scientist theme bar with the dry ice and the lab coat wearing folks, I think this was I would like to go to a bar like this, so I'll put this in the good ideas pile. Yeah, that'd be really fun. And also for your third idea with the pneumatic tubes, I really like this too. Anytime you can get your drink in a tube, like coming shooting at you. Whoa.
This one of the things that also came to mind with this is back in, if you remember, Back to the Future 2, with the scene in, I forgot what the name of the diner was, when you got the Pepsi right in front of them. It kind of made me think like that kind of level of service. You get it right to where you're sitting, but with a more classic tone rather than a futuristic tone.
Yes, I would like this, and that's a good idea because yeah, sending things through a tube is always good. The garden buyer also said that was a good idea, and I would like to work there. I will be the property maintenance crew for that, so I can help
Nice.
garden.
Yeah.
The bar garden. So I'm in for that one. And for your fourth idea with your arcade bar, you should go to Barcade in Philly. There's a bar that's exactly like what you described there. It's pretty cool.
I heard they stole my idea.
For that, since it already exists, but the way you described it was almost pretty accurate. So I'm gonna put that in at least the ideas pile because it was pretty good description.
Okay, fair enough. Considering it was my idea first, and they just happened to make a business that's been existing for a lot longer.
And since I forgot your Viking drinking hall idea, I would like to go to that place and get some mead and at least wear a hat with horns.
Ooh, that's a good idea.
Maybe a turkey leg. I think I'll take one of those there.
You
And
would.
probably some potatoes. I'm sure like meat and potatoes go well.
No,
in that
no
place.
potatoes.
I'm bringing my own then.
You got to have smoked fish.
Oh, I'm in for that.
There's a lot of fermented things and smoked things.
All right, I'll have some smoked fish.
We'll even have like a Sir Strummen challenge.
I don't know what that is, but I'm down to clown.
You should look up some videos on Sir Strummen challenges because
Is it the spinning wheel?
nope.
Oh,
Nope. No, it is not.
fine. Keep your secrets.
Nope.
Keep your spinning
Hey,
wheel.
do you want to know what it is? It's not anything crazy.
Oh,
You've been teasing this information. I'm pretty sure me and
It's
AJ
just
I know.
and the
it's
listeners
just-
would want to know.
I
It's
know.
just a fermented. It's a heavily smelly fermented fish that you know if you even just whip it, you might vomit. So that's why it's a challenge.
All right, sounds lovely.
No, it's horrible. It's awful. I'm not sure why you would even, want to bring that up. I'm not sure why you did that.
All right, don't knock it till you try it.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
And I think those are my pilings.
I think they might be.
Good. Kate, you want to pile Alex's ideas?
Sure. Let's get down and dirty real quick. One man bar. I like this idea. I'm going to put this in the good ideas pile. I can see this being very good at sporting events or musical events or outdoor events, a place where the bartender can come to you instead of you having to hunt the bartender. I'm thinking musicals, plays, because always at intermission, the bar section is always ridiculously crowded. It'd be nice if there was just like a bunch of independent bartenders roaming around that you could just quick get a drink from. So
Yeah,
yes,
beach. I think that'd be great at the beach too.
Oh,
Yeah.
that'd be great.
Like if
Yeah.
you're like just laying there and like
Yeah.
the one man bar walks up and he's like, "I'll make you a cocktail." I'm like,
I think they
"Oh,
do that in
okay."
Mexico. They do that with like beer and stuff. I'm not
That's
100%
not a
sure.
They
resort,
might do it
though.
with beer and stuff
Yeah.
like that, but to get like a sex on the beach while you're on the beach.
On the beach.
You're just sitting there in your beach chair,
Yeah.
relaxing. And the
Yeah.
one man bar guy just walks by singing, "Get your cocktails here."
Mhm.
Or like
like-
if
it's like
you
the
like
Fudgy Wudgy guy.
pina coladas, he's just singing that, and people are buying
Yep.
pina coladas.
Or he's the one man band, like he walks by like the ice cream man.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
he's got his own song.
Yeah.
Oh, what if and he could have even a blended version as well, where he keeps a bunch of ice in a cooler hanging off his back, a blender on his side, and then he just fills up the side, puts the ice in, blends it up. You got a frozen drink right there.
I'm
Yeah.
in.
Good ideas, pile.
Woo.
Your second idea, mad scientist theme bar. So I want to put this in the good ideas pile. I'm going
And
to put
just
it.
do it.
I am. I'm going to put this in the good ideas pile with a caveat with there's nothing that I hate than going to a bar that's like super pretentious and won't have regular draft beers or won't serve rum and cokes. Like they're like, oh no, it's only these specialty drinks. And oh, we only carry craft beers. We don't have any, Rolling Rock or whatever. So as long as I can get a half decent rum and coke without having to add a bunch of ingredients I don't want to have in my rum and coke, then yes, good ideas. But if I have to have a split monkey brain soup rat infused serum, then no. So good ideas pile as long as it's not pretentious.
It wouldn't be pretentious. It's about the experiment.
Yeah, the experiment is, does rum go with coke? Let's find out.
That's not an experiment. That's well established.
You have to keep on.
There has to be at least
has to
smoke
be-
or bubbling uncontrollably.
You have to be able to reproduce your experimental
Yeah.
results to find
Yeah.
out if they're actually sound. So I'm
Yeah.
just repeating a previous experiment I've had.
Look, I just wanted to have it so it's bubbling uncontrollably in the glass or smoke billowing off the top. I don't care if
Can
it still
I-
tastes like a rum and coke.
Can
I
I
just want those things.
Can I just have it in a beaker?
Fine.
Thank you.
Okay, you can have it at a Erlenmeyer flask.
Sure. Your 1910s style bars with drinks coming through the table. Did you hear that horn? I'm sorry. With the drinks through the pneumatic tube.
Not the nomadic ones. They're not going on a traveling and then setting up in different places. Pneumatic, or like with air.
The tubey things.
Yes,
Yeah,
pressurized air tubes.
I like this idea. I like this a lot, especially since of COVID. It'll be
Mhm.
nice to have it so that there's less contact with people and it just shows up at your table. So yes, good ideas, pile.
Sweet.
The garden bar. I like the idea. I don't know how practical it's going to be, just simply because you did mention the furniture is going to be hard to move. It's going to be outdoors. So I don't know if there's going to be like any kind of health regulation stuff involved. I'm going to put this in the ideas pile, leaning towards good. Viking drinking hall. You had me at the axes and shields. I think this would be really cool to have like an axe throwing portion in your Viking hall, but then you lost me at the fish. So I'm going to put this in the ideas pile because I don't like smelly fish.
You would.
I don't even like fish.
You would.
And then your last idea, your arcade bar. As Ajax says, there's one in Philadelphia, Barcade. It is a lot of fun. I actually thought about them the other day because I was watching one of the TV channels had Tron on, and Barcade actually has a copy of the Tron game at the bar.
Nice.
That's the first time I ever played Tron in realsies and not in fakesies. But yeah, definitely a good idea. If you added more pinball machines, you would really have me because I do love some pinball.
Would you say you might be even a pinball wizard?
I think I want to do that for my birthday instead of the Dude Ranch. I think I want to go up to a pinball museum.
Ooh.
And for like $25 you can play for the whole day or something like that. So yeah. Good idea.
Thank you.
Ajax, I think it's your turn for your ideas.
All right. So this is my ideas. I would like in a bar an automated touch screen to take your order. Sometimes it, like in case it's like a busy bar and it's really loud to talk over to the other bartender. You might not have heard them. They might not have heard you. And you could probably place an order from a distance away around the whole bar stool area, especially if it's a busy night. So yeah, I would like to have probably a touchscreen, almost like a Wawa style, so you can pick your drinks and common specialty drinks. Then you can choose your own drinks. You can make your own drinks. If you want to make that Chumbawamba, you can probably make it on the drink platform. I'm basing this off of like a Wawa touchscreen or Sheets or wherever you go to your convenience store. I don't know what it's like in Alex. Alex, do you have anything like this? No. Okay, but you can pick whatever drink you want because then you don't have to worry about somebody talking to. So that's my idea. A automatic bar touchscreen drink ordering device. For my second idea, I would like to have a optional nap zone for my bar because sometimes you're having it's gonna either be a bar or a restaurant. You're having a great night. You've been having a good time laughing. You had a few drinks and then you're like, oh man, I don't feel like I should be driving and I was driving before. Oh, I feel awkward right now. Or you had a big meal and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm so full. I'm going to fall asleep in 5 seconds. I would like to have a nap zone where you can pay for a certain amount of nap time, like, ranging from 15 minutes to an hour and a half, because then it's not too long, tiny, like, a little, I'm thinking almost like a wall of different nap units where you can climb into, just take a little nap in a nap unit after you've either had a few drinks or had a big full dinner. Sometimes you need a nap before you get back on the road. For my third idea is a fantasy bar. Almost like a place where you can go if you have a group of friends that likes to play games like Dungeons and Dragons. You can hang out there and you can feel free in your fantasy bar. There's big tables, there's little tables for smaller groups. It's not just like a one size fits all type of place to hang out with your friends, but this is a little bit more fantasy themed. The dress code is to dress like how you would like to impress the galaxy. Like, what would you wear to impress the galaxy? Me, it'd probably be like neon and sparkly everything. That would be the most impressive thing I could probably put together to impress the galaxy. And in the end, I think the way how to put it in your brain, how my brain thinks of it, I almost think about like it in Star Wars at the cantina, where there's all the different species coming to mingle. Yeah. So for my fourth idea is pretty much like my favorite bar in the world, which was Johnny Utah's, but even more better, like more bowls to it, more tires hanging from the ceiling, more things to play on inside, add some poles to it, maybe a lure or two. Did I mention the bulls? There has to be more bull riding there. More fire. There should always be more fire involved, either in the drinks or like, artistic renditions. And also a bigger dance floor. I want a place where you can feel free to bust a move, because the old Johnny Utah's was pretty tight and squished in. I dance hard, so I need more space for more room for activities. And possible country line dancing opportunities. I feel like if I want to have the whole country experience, I would like to learn country line dancing. And I need more room for that because I want to see a sea of people country line dancing. And maybe some days this place doesn't have to be country themed. It can be R&B themed, because then you could do R&B line dancing. That would be cool too. Is it R&B line dancing? There's lion dancing that I saw on some local channels near Philly, and it was highly impressive. I don't know. I wanted to do it. So if other people know other types of line dancing, no matter what the music style is, you're welcome at my bar of dancing.
And comment below of all the line dancing styles you would like at a bar.
Yeah, I think that would be lovely. And then for my last idea, I just want a bar where there's cocktails and desserts. Like, you can have your average drinks and everything, but I want it focused on like the dessert experience. And of course, alcoholic snow cones will be there because they have to be there. There's a bar in Philly called Fat Tuesdays where they have all the frozen drinks, and it's always fun to go to. So I was just thinking a good place to go where you can have cocktails and desserts and even like mixed together too. I don't know of many, but I would like to try them. I think that would be a fun dessert experience. And it could be just like, it's like an adult ice cream parlor. Oh, so I actually had a idea off of Alex's last idea, not the mad scientist idea. I would love it. So this is my sixth idea. It was a mad scientist themed escape room where you can drink. I would like to drink during escape rooms. I think that would make it more fun. You wouldn't be like worried for time as much. And I think it would just be even more hilarious. I mean, some of the escape rooms are really tough where you need to have your full wit about you.
Ajax, we kind of did this for my birthday not too long ago.
That's true.
I was very like 3 sheets to the wind when we got into that escape room. And we got out of that escape room, surprisingly.
Yeah. But I wish it was like allowed you could drink and escape room at the same time. And that's my idea, and I'm sticking to it. Put them together.
Thanks, Ajax. Why don't I go down your ideas first? Automated touch screens to take your bar order. I do believe some restaurants have this, but I haven't seen it exclusively at bars. I think this would be a good idea. It's, creating less a line, or like, I hate having to elbow my way through a bar. Like, there's people sitting there and I'm trying to get to the bartender. It's like waving them down. So yeah, I like this idea. Good ideas pile. Idea number 2, optional nap zone. I mean, anywhere's a nap zone if you try hard enough. But I'm gonna put this in the ideas pile just because it's the logistics. It can get a little tricky there. When does someone like take a nap, and then when does someone like pass out and stays there for like 6 hours?
Oh
Like,
no, the bed will dump you out after an hour and a half.
yeah, you got to have them attendants to make sure people have left the room, and it gets a little
No, it'll
complicated.
dump them out through a chute. I'm gonna get one of Alex's chutes and send them outside of the building when they're done their hour and a half. That's your time limit. If you're not out of there, you're going through the chute.
Yeah, there's gonna be logistic problems there.
I know.
So
I'm gonna need some
ideas.
gravity.
Ideas. Fantasy bar, the Star Wars cantina. I'm gonna put this in ideas leaning towards bad. This seems like a lot of work. When I want to go to a bar, I just want to go to a bar and drink my face off and hang with some friends. I don't want to have to, like, I don't get dressed up. I barely wear makeup. I might put on a nice top, maybe some nice dress boots, perhaps. I don't know. But to like get all dolled up and try to impress the galaxy, that it seems like a lot of work. So ideas leaning towards bad. Johnny Utah's plus. Of course, this is going to good ideas pile. There used to be a bar I used to attend when I was younger called Flat Spins, which would have been a perfect place for this because it had multiple rooms, and each room could have a different apparatus and have, it had a huge dance floor, had a huge outside area with fire pits like every 10 feet. It was a really good time. I got shut down due to underage drinking. The only thing I'm concerned about is safety with the aerials. There would have to be waivers and stuff. So that's the only thing I'm concerned about. So yeah, good ideas pile. Cocktails and dessert. Yeah, good ideas. Fat Tuesday is actually inspired by New Orleans type of bars where the adult slushies is a big thing down there. Yeah, I like Fat Tuesdays. I like sweet drinks. So yeah, I could see going there after a nice dinner and having dessert cocktail. So yeah, good ideas. And then your last idea, drinking escape room. Yes, good ideas. I would love to do escape rooms. I've done escape rooms where they were bar themed and 1920s themed. And it would be nice if it's part of it was you had to mix the perfect drink, and if you drank it, great. If you didn't, it doesn't matter, but you had to mix it. But yeah, good idea. And those are my pilings.
Thanks, Kate.
Alex, why don't you do your pilings of Ajax's ideas?
So for your first idea, Ajax, with your touch screens ordering screeniness, this is immediately going the good ideas pile. As long as you can make it work, it's perfect because the bartenders don't have to get bothered. They can get more out, and people can actually do what they need to and get out instead of just waiting there with their money sitting out there and that kind of stuff. It's a pain I'm sorry, but whoever is at a bar, especially a busy one, and this is a pet peeve of mine. If you're at a busy bar and you decide, I'm going to crowd this bar, well, there's a load of people behind me that could easily want to get a drink. But no, I'm just going to sit here in that one spot, already drinking my drink. But, I could move out of the way, go somewhere else and chat with my friends or whoever. No, I'm going to be in the way of somebody else who's trying to get their drink. So all I'm going to say is there should be some bar etiquette, and this will help with that. You order your drink, make it so it's kind of awkward to be there once you have your drink. You kind of want to get away. That's all I'm saying. But other than that, it's a great idea. They need to do this more just to get people away, and then go back to enjoying their day, enjoy your drink, and just go away.
Just go away.
Exactly. Just go away.
Mm-hmm.
Number 2, near your nap zone. This one's going straight in the bad ideas pile for me. Not because naps are bad, although I am anti-nap personally. I know a lot of people are pro-nap, and that's okay. But to me, if you're in a bar and there's people drinking, and there's already weird stuff that goes on in a bar half the time anyways, now you have a place where you're actively having people go and sleep. To put their guard down and sleep to me, that's just inviting not great things to happen. Best case scenario, you just have some people trying to sneak 2 people into a nap tube at one time, just for whatever privacy or whatever. But worse yet,
if
you
you
have
want
some
to
weird.
cuddle,
That's what couches are for. There's
just
other
spray it
things you
down
can do.
afterwards if it gets nasty.
Yeah, I'm more worried about people putting people in there going, oh, they must be tired or whatever, and then it just to me it screams like a place for predators to have like no one looking.
Yeah,
and I
this
just
is
don't like that.
This
I
is
don't like
Roofier's dream right here. Like, oh,
Yeah,
she's
exactly.
really tired. Oh, she's really drunk. She should lay down in one of these
Yeah.
nap tubes for a little bit.
Yeah, in the other room where no one can see it.
You guys think like predators.
Yeah. Well, you have to be on guard. That's why. So I'm gonna put this in the bad ideas pile because it's weird. Your third idea, your fantasy bar, where you have D&D stuff, but at the same time Star Wars stuff, and same time you're trying to dress to impress the galaxy, as you put it. Which there's a lot going on, a lot to unpack, but overall, I think I'm going to put this in the ideas pile. I would have put this lower because it does sound pretty darn nerdy, but God damn it, if that Star Wars Cantina song ain't catchy, even on the 10,000th loop. It is pretty damn catchy, and if that's what's playing, I'm kind of on board with it.
Yes.
I mean, sure, by the the 20,000th time you're going to want to murder somebody, but the 10,000th time is still pretty catchy.
Who knows?
Especially if I'm dressed as Princess Leia, as I often am on the weekends.
You'd be
Ideas
welcome
pile.
there.
I would be with open arms, or they'll brandish lightsabers at me. I'm not quite sure yet.
Either way.
Yeah. Fourth idea of having a bar with more bowls, more tires, more poles, more fires, more dancing, including seas of line dancing or R&B line dancing, which I did look up and is actually a thing. So
I know. It looked like fun.
Exactly. I was going to put this in the good ideas pile until you said polls. And I don't understand why surveys are a good thing in a bar. I don't really like to be disturbed and ask questions by like people like looking for my answers. I don't understand it. So it's going to have to go ideas going towards good because everything else is okay. Overall, I can appreciate everything else. But having surveys while you're drinking and spending time with your friends is not my idea of a good time. But hey, to each their own.
Oh, sometimes I need to evaluate. I need to evaluate what's going on, how people are doing.
Mm-hmm.
Having constant polls is having constant feedback, so you can see if you're doing an okay job. Hopefully, people are having fun.
Mm-hmm. Maybe
but if you don't like the polls, it's okay. What if you got a prize for filling out a poll?
You know what?
Like more alcohol. What if you got more alcohol?
Like a free happy hour. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a bad thing. See, at least as long as there's some form of benefit.
I take ideas leaning towards good.
Yeah. Fifth idea of cocktails and desserts. Well, of course, it's going to go in the good ideas pile because it involves both drinking and eating, which are two of my favorite things to do. Especially when alcohol is involved, which, hell, you could toss the alcohol into the desserts as well.
Exactly.
A little rum and Coke with a rum cake or, various other things that I can't think of off the top of my head. But
like a chef, though, like a dessert chef that specializes in alcohol stuff can make some banging stuff.
Yeah. And you can make bananas Fosters, which they usually have to light on fire with alcohol.
That would be badass.
When there's fire then. So yeah, again, good idea. Actually, there used to be a spot in where I am that actually did do that. They were open late and did desserts and alcohol, but they've since closed. But that kind of place did actually exist.
If anybody makes or knows of any other cocktails and desserts type place, please let us know. I want to visit. We could do a podcast there.
All right. And your last idea of escape room drinking. I'm very confused this one. Is there a bar involved?
Ooh, it could be a bar theme.
Because really you just said drinking while doing an escape room, which isn't really a bar idea versus an escape room idea of allowing drinking during the escape room, which again, I'm not opposed to, but is it a bar idea? And you didn't really.
You can make it I'm now envisioning this a bar with different escape room options.
Yeah.
Like it's situated at a bar and then there's different areas.
It's like the waiting room for the escape room is a bar.
You get your drink and then if you need a refill, then there's an option to yell to tell it into the camera. to be like, I'll take another refill, please.
Yes,
or
yes.
so, because then they'll bring it to you through a tube.
See, that's okay. See, now you're getting in my wheelhouse. So I'm going to put this in the ideas pile because I wasn't 100% convinced, but I will take. Heck, I'm going to put his ideas going towards good because it's even more escape rooms.
Thank you, Alex. Kate, will you grace us with your ideas?
I sure will. So I have a few ideas for bars and like for themes for bars, and then I have an idea for like all bars. So my first idea is something that used to exist pretty often, but I haven't seen it recently. Single bars. As a single person, it's hard to meet other single people. And having a single bar where you walk in and you know everyone here is single, everyone here is available, and everybody here is looking, that would be nice to have. So my first idea is a singles bar. My second idea is based off of the City Museum in St. Louis. Now, the City Museum in St. Louis sounds kind of dull. It sounds like it's a city museum, like a museum about the city. But what it actually is like a huge multi-layer playground for adults and children. Like it's artistic, yet everything that's there you can climb, you can touch, you can crawl through. There's so many nooks and crannies, so many hidden places. You can't do the whole museum in a day. So for my second idea is to have something similar to that, but adults only and alcoholic beverages allowed. For my third idea is a bar that either movies are playing in the background and like you're there to like talk about the movie or do movie trivia, or reality TV shows playing in the background. And you're there to watch reality TV show with a bunch of other people who want to watch the same one and just be with like-minded individuals. I know a few of my coworkers are really into The Bachelor and The Bachelorette. And it sounds like after the episode, they can't wait to talk to each other about it. I think it would be really cool if like you have a bar and every day it's a different reality show, or like from 6 to 7, it's The Bachelor. From 7 to 8, it's Jersey Shore. And it's around the idea of the reality TV show or the movie. My fourth idea is I want a bar kind of like an internet cafe, because I would love to be able to sit and drink and try to write or do work or do homework instead of having to go to a certain coffee place, bring in a flask of whatever I have and pretend that I'm drinking their coffee and like, oh, this is such a great coffee, when in fact it's an alcoholic coffee that I'm enjoying because I just want to be able to drink and write my next manuscript. So my fourth idea is an internet cafe bar. My last bar idea kind of goes back to what Alex was saying. There's nothing more annoying than trying to get to the bar and there's like people who are seated at the bar. That's one thing. They're seated, they're not moving around. But then you have the situation where like 3 people are seated and then there's a bunch of people standing around those 3 people, and getting to the bar is like nearly impossible. So for my last bar idea, I want a bar that has no bar. Like it's just all tables and booths. And then there's just like one location where you can order drinks from. Or it's like Ajax's touch screens. You can't actually go up to the bar and request a drink like you would at a regular bar. You have like you can touch in your idea. You can touch in your drink order and then pick it up at the pickup station, or have it a waiter or waitress bring it to your table. And then my last idea, which I think should be for all bars, is that I think it should be required that upon leaving the bar, you have to take a breathalyzer, because a lot of people get DUIs because they don't realize they're over the actual drinking limit, because they're coming down from the drunkenness. So they're feeling better. So they don't realize they're actually over the limit until they hit a checkpoint or until they get pulled over and something like that. And then on the flip side, this is also like a way for the bar to cover their ass because it's like, hey, this person was over the limit to drive. We called them a cab, we called them an Uber. So yeah, so I feel like everybody should have a breathalyzer before leaving the bar to see if they are indeed okay to drive. And those are my ideas. Alex, why don't you pile my ideas?
I'll pile your first idea of the singles bar, which, as you put it, already kind of existed. So this is just bringing it back, a resurgence kind of thing?
Yeah, because you don't really have those anymore. They used to be a lot more popular back in the day.
Yeah. I mean, there's always the unofficial singles bar, though, or the hookup bar. There's always that one place that everyone goes to, and they know kinda if you're going there, there's a lot more people looking for that kind of thing. So it always feels like to me, there's always one in town.
Yeah, but I'm super oblivious. So unless if it has like a really telling name, I won't put two and two together.
Yeah, fair enough. Number one, I'm going to put this in the bad ideas pile because there's people that aren't actually single. So that makes it a lie. Number two, it's an idea that already existed. You're just bringing it back. And number three, it's against God. God doesn't like single people. That's why people get married. So there you go.
That explains a whole lot with me regarding me and my relationship with God.
And singles, specifically craft singles.
Do not bring craft singles into this.
He didn't do anything wrong. Don't you besmirch his name.
Also, listeners, we are not sponsored by Craft, but Craft, if you would like to sponsor us, please contact us at ideasaldaypodcast@gmail.com.
All right, on to your second idea. The City Museum, aka the Jungle Gym Bar. I'm going to also put this one in the bad ideas pile. One, it kind of sounds very sports-like because there's a lot of physical activity involved.
There's a lot of exploring, not necessarily physical activity.
You said jungle gym.
Everything there is like touchable and climbable and explorable.
Yep.
You don't have to climb everything you see, but you can.
Even still, because you have to climb things, you're going to have drunk people climbing on bars or jungle gym bars or ducking under things. There's going to be vomit everywhere. There's going to be people falling, hurting themselves. This is a safety and liability disaster waiting to happen. Someone's going to get just either vomited on or break a leg and then vomit on themselves. It's just, and everybody else. It's just, I don't see it coming out well. So this one's going in the bad ideas pile for me, sheerly because of all the vomiting. Number three, your TV watching bar, aka with a reality TV focus. Not only, but I know that's a big focus of it. I'm going to put this idea as going towards bad because you could just have kind of a watch party at home. I know that's not the point, but it feels like a bar is typical. You need a lot of like almost like a karaoke bar style where you have independent rooms with TVs in them that you just order from and they bring it to you. Because if you're in a bar, you can't really watch TV.
See,
it's too loud.
The whole purpose for me is I have some friends, but my some friends don't like all the shows I like. So it'd be nice to watch something that I enjoy with like-minded individuals. So it wouldn't be like a private room situation. Like everybody there is there to watch whatever reality TV show.
So, but even when you're in a bar, there's still a lot of loud noises. Even if everyone's just watching TV, you'd almost have to be going to a movie theater to do that with like the tables around it versus a bar. You know what I mean? So I have a hard time imagining it would work out where people are actually silent and not just really loud, especially because there's going to be people there that don't want to be there, but they were dragged along by somebody else who wants them to be there, and they're just going to be on their phone or talking. I'm just trying to think of the reality of the situation. So again, ideas going towards bad. I'm not saying no to it because I get where the idea is, and I think there's something there, but I just can't get behind it totally. Now for your fourth idea, the internet cafe bar. This one's going to good ideas for me. Number one, because you get to watch the internet and like you say, write your manuscripts and whatever stuff you want to do. There's drinking. and there's at least one person there looking at porn because he's drinking and it feels a lot more courageous. And you know what? I respect that man. I respect that man that he needed the liquid courage, but he's still doing it and he's doing his thing. And I respect that. That's why this is immediately going to good ideas pile for me.
You don't know how much alcohol it takes me to get through some parts of the writing that I have to do. It's like I want to get to the fun stuff, but I can't. I gotta establish shit.
You got a world build. You got a world build.
And it sucks. I hate world building.
Yeah.
I hate it so much. Just let's get to the fighting. Yay.
Sure, the fighting. Yes. Number 5, your no bar. I'm gonna try and not just disqualify this because it's not a bar at that point. But I'm not going to disqualify it. I'm not going to disqualify it, because you're just doing a caveat where it's still a drink heavy place. Now, that being said, your idea is called a restaurant where you have you order and people bring the drink to you.
There's no food here except for
You're right.
bar food.
Yeah. Bar food and drinks, which, oh my God, when you go to a restaurant, you can ask for mixed drinks and they'll bring it to your table.
The same.
I was thinking this more like a Starbucks.
No, it's
So
not
that's
the
a bar.
same.
That has a bar still.
Well,
not when you stand
I
it.
see what Ajax is
or like
saying.
a Perkins, where it's just separated. The counter is not a bar.
You don't sit at the counter.
It's not a long table.
Well, that's not a no bar bar.
Table.
When I'm thinking no bar, I'm thinking tables, chairs, but no place where there's no stools and there's no bar.
Correct. You're not sitting at the bar.
You're not sitting at
that portion.
You're
is
sitting
gone.
at tables and then you're ordering.
Diners
and they're bringing
have a counter that have stools. Does that make a diner a bar?
But does a restaurant require to have a bar? No.
Is a diner required to have a bar?
No, it's not. It doesn't have to.
So,
but guess what?
makes a
That
bar
doesn't make it
bar?
a diner. That doesn't. Well, one is your focus is on drinks, and then you might serve food, but really your style is more like. Which again, I'm not calling it a bar, but it's really just a restaurant. But it's just a restaurant that focuses on drinks. So that being said, I'm still going to put in the ideas pile because it's not a bad idea. It's just not. It's taking a traditional bar and making it where you feels like you just order and servers bring it out to you. You're making the focus on drinks away from food, and it's still that's all it is to me. That's what it sounds like to me. But again, I'm not saying it's a bad idea. It's just that's what it is. And then last but not least, your breathalyzer upon exit of a bar. The only question I have is, what if you're drinking and you're going to leave to take a breathalyzer, but you have a DD? Is there caveats for that? Because I should be able to get tits drunk, just drunk off my tits, all of them. And if someone's bringing me home that is taking a breathalyzer, but sober, shouldn't that be allowed? Should I have to take a breathalyzer?
Yes, I think that would be allowed. I still think you should take the breathalyzer just to see where you are, because if you're in the danger zone and don't know it, if you're drunk off your tits, and that can be a dangerous situation, and
but
you don't know until you get the breathalyzer. It's ooh, you need to go to the hospital and get your stomach pumped.
Yeah, there's usually a point at which that person's gotten it real bad.
Yeah, but if you have a designated driver, then as long as the designated driver passes the breathalyzer, then you should be good to go.
But again, if that's the case, then it's not a bad idea. And I'm actually putting the good ideas because it's safety focused, and that's what I'm all right with.
Thank you for your pilings, Alex.
So
Ajax, why don't you pile my ideas?
So for your first idea of the singles bar, it's just singles.
Just
craft singles.
That would be also
what if there were couples that are I'm interested in more people, open couples? Does it just have to be singles?
Why do you couples have to interfere with my potential pool of dating people? You have your person. Let me get mine. Damn it.
I was just thinking for people in other relationship styles.
This is not a throuple situation. This isn't a throuple
I am going
bar.
to put this. I mean, for all the single people out there, if you like this, then good idea. You get a good idea out of that one. Doesn't mean I might not be going. It's not inclusive.
No.
See, maybe
exclusive.
What if you before you can enter the bar, they have to check your Facebook relationship status?
Perfect.
That way, you people with your Facebook saying that you're in a relationship or it's complicated can't show up. It's got to say single and that's it.
So since you single would get have a good time out of it, it's a good idea. There you go. All right, for the City Museum in St. Louis, that looked like fun when I saw pictures. I'd like to go play there. It's a good idea. Watch reality TV shows for your third idea. I was thinking there's always sports bar themed bars. Why not have a smaller, like a larger place with several rooms, and each room has another room to have a different show on? Yeah, like one room can have a sports bar going on, sports on the TVs. Another one can have another show on the TVs and everybody watching it. Several different rooms, several different shows. I like it. I mean, I don't know if I'd want to go to the Bachelorette one, but I would go to a different room. It's like almost like a movie bar, but it's a TV show bar.
But you would go to the Friday Night Tykes one. That's
No
reality
petty.
TV.
No petty. No petty. I would go to Supernatural one.
It's not
reality, but in my idea where I'm adding it on into the different shows rooms.
Friday Night Tykes. Wasn't that the Pee Wee football?
It was No Petty.
No petty, but yeah.
Yeah, it was a good show. I also like the Challenge, MTV Challenge.
Yeah. So that would be the bar for this.
Does it have to be reality TV?
No, I don't think it has to, but I feel like that's like a place where a lot of people can come together under their own little freak flag to find other like-minded people.
All right. Well, since I might go, his idea is leaning towards good, but the internet cafe bar, I'll put in the good ideas pile because it might turn into the porn bar one day. I think that would be, I mean, it's bound to happen. Everybody's just going to go there and watch porn.
Why don't you just have a bar that's a porn bar?
Perfect. Done. All right. Great. Good idea.
That would be against God.
And for your fifth idea, I'm just going to call it Barbucks because it makes me think of Starbucks still. You order your beverage and then somebody brings it to you. Starbucks.
But isn't that just a traditional bar? You go up to the bar, you order it. If it's Starbucks, and then you.
But no one sits at the bar. That's the beauty of it. You don't have to elbow through all those people.
No elbowing because everybody's sitting at a table. Starbucks. It's an idea. Possibly good. Well, I'm going to lean it towards good. I'm going to lean it there. It's leaning. And then for your sixth idea of the breathalyzer after you leave, I feel like if it's after I leave, I missed out on, like, if it was like just way too high after I was done, I'm like, man, now I gotta wait a long time before I can go home because I can't drive right now. So I feel like they should have a breathalyzer station inside the bar so you can go there to do like a check after your first drink if you want to. So you can be like, here's my baseline data, here's my next line data. So if it was like a station that you can go to in the bar, I think that would be kind of cool because then you could check it after you're like on your own and you don't have to wait until you're going to leave after you had the best time and you're like, woohoo, I had 3 drinks and now too late, I gotta wait.
I like that idea too because then you can compete with your friends to see who
I was
can get
about
the higher
to say
score.
that is I like the idea, but then you're gonna have people who are gonna see how high they can get their blood alcohol content.
Yes.
And that's a dangerous game to play.
Of course they will.
Yeah.
Especially if you have a designated driver.
But I would like to know, like, I mean, it's information that anybody can own their own breathalyzer. It's just one having available for added data. Especially if it's a mandated thing that you can't be driving while you're drinking.
While you're drunk.
When you're drunk. I think they should have more options so you'd be able to tell what state you're in case you are in a state. And you're like, ooh, I've got that question. I'm not quite sure, but I'd like to check. I'll put the breathalyzer at I was thinking of it more like a Walmart price check where you can, instead of having it at the end. If it's at the end, I'll put it in the ideas pile. If it's at the end towards you can have it any time, then I'll put it a good idea.
I'll take the ideas pile.
And you'll like it.
Thanks, Ajax, for your pilings. We should probably thank our listeners.
Thank you so much. Now go get a drink.
While you're getting that drink, you can listen to us at iTunes, Spotify, Apple Music, Stitcher, Anchor, anywhere you can find podcasts. If you can't find us on your podcasting platform of choice, please contact us at ideasallday.podcast@gmail.com. We have a Facebook page. We have a YouTube channel. We have updated playlists on that YouTube channel. And we are also on Instagram at Ideas All Day Podcast. But yeah, thanks for listening.
Thanks,
Bye.
listeners. Bye.
Bye.
Boop, bye. Boop.
Have one bourbon, one shot, and one beer.
Beer.